Have you ever watched that episode of Seinfeld where George does the opposite of what he normally does? I absolutely love that episode. I love Seinfeld. I think it's hilarious, and I also think that there's a lot in Seinfeld you can relate to your life. No matter how silly it is, you can always relate something. George, I think, is my favorite character because I don't know. He's just so quirky and he does really funny, stupid things. And he's also relatable in a lot of ways. Maybe because he's just like a real person. Um, he seems real sometimes. But anyway, in this episode where he does the opposite, I just think it's great. He's talking about how much of a loser he is in life, and the waitress in the restaurant asks him, oh, tuna and rye or whatever he wants to order, and he's like, yeah, and then he says, no, wait, and he orders something completely the opposite of what he would normally order. And then from that point going forward, he decides to just do the opposite of what he would normally do. And I think this is so relatable to life because if we did the opposite of what we would normally do, our lives would probably totally change. I think a lot of the times it would be for the better, because if you, like, for instance, starting my YouTube channel, my normal instinct would not be to do something like this, so it was the opposite of what I would normally do, and it has given me something different to do, and it's kind of actually exciting. Think about other things in your life that if you were to just do the opposite, like even just a friend calls you up and says, oh, I want to go out for coffee or to a movie or something. Normally what I would do is I would say no because I would rather just stay at home and watch television. But if I say yes, which is the opposite of what I want to do, I would probably go out and have a good time. And who knows what else would happen by just actually going out and doing something. I think life would be improved so much better if we did do the opposite of what we would normally do. What else would be an opposite that of something that you would do? Here's the actual quote from George, and I'm going to read straight from my computer, so you'll have to excuse this. Every decision I've ever made in my entire life has been wrong. If every instinct I have is wrong, then the opposite would have to be right. Now, how truthful is that? How about when George walks up to the woman in the restaurant as well, and he just flat out says to her, hi, my name's George. I'm unemployed. I live with my parents. I think that's great. And she actually liked his honesty. And I think, too, we spend a lot of time focusing on things that we don't have. What if we focused on the things that we do have, which is the opposite of what we would normally do? Focus on what we do have and how much we enjoy what we actually do have. Like I have my husband, my dogs, we have a house, we have a roof over our heads. We have things that we need, and that's all good. Or I could focus on all of the things that we don't have, and then I could be miserable. So what are some things that you could do the opposite of that you normally do every day? Post them in the comments. Let me know. And do you like Seinfeld too? I think Seinfeld is great. What is your favorite episode?